Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Amy. I am joined today by Freddy.
Yeah, you've chosen an odd pace for today's episode.
I'll do what I want.
I think that's the pace we should go for the rest of the show.
That deliberate.
Just see what happens.
Yeah. Andy, did we just realize that all of our names end in E?
No, I've always known that.
And Kelley, I never even thought about that when it was the four of us. Holy fuck!
Really? It never occurred to you that all our names end in Y?
If it ever has before, then I reserve the right to go, well, I'm old.
Are you having a Usual Suspects moment right now?
It could be. I'm looking around the room going, oh, God.
Remember, Wrongfully Accused was better, where he was like buzzing frog outside of men's room.
Is that a parody of Fugitive or something? Wasn't it?
It's the end of the Usual Suspects, where they really the Kaiser Soze that you were just referring to, Amy, was they parodied it in Wrongfully Accused, which was a parody of Fugitive, but the best scene in the movie is a parody from. Man, I went a long way around for that. But anyway, it's not a great comedy or anything, but it's funny.
I didn't remember that movie till you actually said it. I was like, they actually did make that.
Who was in it?
Leslie Nielsen.
If
you haven't seen it, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it was like in the 90s where they did the Dead and Loving It and Wrongfully Accused and those type of movies.
Wrongfully Accused is a very low tier Leslie Nielsen movie. It's just, there are Leslie Nielsen movies I won't watch. It's right above that list. It's at the bottom of the list.
Will watch list.
Yeah, the will watch. No, well, I take that back because I will watch Repossessed if I can find the fucking thing.
Is that hard to find? Did they scrub it from the internet?
I've had a hard time finding it, but I haven't checked in a while, so it might be abundant now.
It's on every service.
It's actually raining Repossessed right now.
Oh my God, I got some in the mail.
You should go catch one.
I was emailed a code for it.
That's where she turns into an ice cream cone. She tells him to lick her. It's The Exorcist. Yeah,
is a copy of that movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. This is the last show of our Buffon Who Dis theme.
We can finally hang it up.
We can hang it up. Unfortunately, Dustin, you failed me, and you didn't get the Who Was Phone or
Who is
Phone parody movie that's on Tubi. You didn't get that to me early enough for me to have watched it to tell people about it.
I'm glad that we didn't get that early
because it looks like it was made for $5 from the little bit I saw.
Because we got
for them for making a movie for $5.
Yeah,
we saw a pretty memorable movie instead that he gave us.
So Justin was also our picker, and this time around we're watching and talking about Murder by Phone, which is a very silly title and you're like, well, of course, it's got to be a funny movie. It's got to be like a comedy, right?
That's what I thought.
No, that's a dead serious movie that's its dead serious title.
The other reason I think it was a comedy, it's also known as Bells, but Murder by Phone. When we had the meetup, which we do on Thursday nights with all the patrons on Discord, and that's when Dustin told us what his pick was because he was there.
And he giggled.
And he was laughing the whole time when he described Murder by Phone, so we thought it was a comedy.
Freddy's like, I think it's a comedy. All right, I guess I'll laugh. This is not, but I laughed.
It was funny.
Oh, yeah, I had a good time with this movie.
We'll talk about that later.
And
many notes.
I'm assuming you said Dustin picked it just because of the name, right?
I think he's seen it too.
He knew.
He knew.
He sounded like the way he talked was like he had seen it, but he couldn't get through describing the opening sequence without like stifling laughter.
I mean, if I was if I was picked to be the picker,
yeah,
and I was like, I don't know what to pick, and just Googled phone horror movies. So like, oh, that was a fun title.
I know, right? No, it was perfect.
Plus the power of getting someone, if you didn't want to watch the movie, you're just like, I'll have somebody else watch this movie and just be like, oh, it saved me 90 minutes. Thanks. But Bells is an exception to that rule because I think some people are going to want it.
That's a good pivot because that's an awful title.
Which one? Bells?
Bells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about the movie at all.
Like Jaws.
Is it somehow supposed to be?
But Jaws is evocative of something. But Bells.
Were they trying to like?
I think a Bell's
tone down the like more violent aspects of the movie. And
which
not
title
calling
came
it
first?
Murder by Phone. I don't
bet
know,
you
Freddy.
Bells was probably first.
No,
That's a terrible name.
I saw the title.
Yeah.
It popped up during the
Title
movie.
card. Yeah, it was said Bells.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I think it was probably Bells originally.
And then somebody went, "That's dumb."
Yeah, they were like, let's sex it up.
That's not gonna get butts and seats.
Yeah, Murder by Phone will get butts and seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Richard Chamberlain.
Yep.
Not to mention John Houseman. Boy, what a draw. The kids love it.
Well, when was this during Richard Chamberlain's heyday of stardom?
Yeah, he had done Shogun not around this time. If I remember right, that was like his big thing. That was made for TV though, I think, right? I think
Stop
it was.
looking at me as if I am IMDb.
Sorry, I don't bring.
okay.
I want to be
do know a lot of things.
I don't bring my device in here with me anymore.
I know.
So I have to guess at whether or not Richard Chamberlain was in Shogun, but I'm going with yes.
I want
he was pretty big.
to have a quick Cincinnati corner and talking about the
Can I guess what it is?
what?
Is it Harambe?
No.
Oh, okay.
Is there an update?
It's his anniversary today.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought that's where your Cincinnati.
No, I had no idea.
Okay. Dicks were all out the whole day. For Harambe.
If you haven't had your dick out today for Harambe, it's your fault. I don't know what.
So there's other Cincinnati news besides.
But it's yours.
Harambe anniversary.
No, it's that the people of the Cincinnati subreddit felt our pain and were bitching and moaning about the prices at the Taste of Cincinnati.
Oh, so I wasn't out of line.
We are over it as attendees. Listen, Taste of Cincinnati is a real big fucking food festival, right? And you go and you're like, oh, I could try all these cool things at all these cool places.
No, literally, you go around tasting Cincinnati. You lick buildings,
the
lick
ground.
roads.
Pretty much every town,
People.
big city has a taste of that city, right?
Yeah.
Kind of festival.
But you would go broke if you wanted to taste more than 3 things.
Yeah, you're looking
Get
at
out of
like,
here.
You're looking at like a $50 day.
I'm not
Least.
upset about the prices per se. I'm more upset about the portions.
Well,
Yeah.
If
it's shrinkflation,
if I'm
Andy.
paying $9 from fish, I want more than one piece.
That
I'm
was
sorry.
puny. That piece of cod, it was small. It was like a deck of cards, but like scaled down for children's hands.
Like, I'm not joking when it's literally like the size of a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Smaller
If
than that.
And that was $9.
It was $9.
I mean, really, this is not Disney World. Calm down, Cincinnati.
Yeah. It was pretty good though.
I was analyzing the bite per dollar today because I was still thinking about
Oh,
it.
that's like $2 each bite.
So expensive.
And at most, I had 4, maybe 5 bites.
Yeah.
And when you break it down like that, that's $2.25 a bite.
Yeah.
And $15 for parking. Get out of here. This is why people
Yeah.
This is why people
can't go out.
This is why people are going to vote for Trump. Thanks,
Dear
Biden.
God, don't say
I
that.
paid too much at Taste Cincinnati for a fritter. So I changed my whole political outlook.
My entire being. You know what? If next year they haven't figured this shit out, maybe
We're going to storm the Capitol.
we're going to storm the Capitol.
Again.
It's going to be the capital of the Food Festival Pricing Association.
Your microphone's garter belts have fallen off.
Oh, no. What does that mean?
They're the little rubber feet that are in the 4 corners of the square.
Yeah.
faces.
That means your pantyhose are going to go
Oh,
right
no.
fall
My
right
garters
off.
are falling down.
It's a weird thing. Just inside baseball, I think most podcasts use these same microphones and have these same exact stands and everything. There's those rubber feetsies.
They got rubber feetsies.
The rubber feetsies that hold the mic in place, but they always decide to come loose just randomly.
Coming loose, man.
They
Just
pop
like
off.
my nerves. Yeah. So anyway, I had to get Cincinnati corner end.
I mean,
done.
it felt good to support local businesses.
Sure.
But it did not feel good on my wallet. God, I feel old.
I mean, it was fun.
I got old, I feel crotchety.
I got bone spurs, I got home and those were hurting.
I honestly think, like, there's something in the world right now that, like, the tender sensitive people, we are fed the fuck up. I think us tender sensitive folks we are at our last goddamn nerve. We have not even a full fuck left to give.
The tender sensitive people.
And like the assholes are just doing great.
Yeah. Well,
I think we've given up kind of a little bit.
That's always been true.
I've thrown in the towel.
Oh my God. I don't want to get...
I'm just going to be like, whatever happens, happens.
I don't want to invite the whole world into my brain. So...
The only reason the meek inherit the earth is because everybody else killed each other.
Yeah, you're right.
Over prices are the...
Over prices at their local food festival. I mean, how dare they?
That's where it starts. You're like, you get handed your little thing of food. You're like, what?
Furiosa!
Also... just little mini side rant. Stop it with the goddamn double wide strollers. Fuck off with that in a crowded festival.
You stack babies at that point?
You can get the longer.
You want a longer baby carriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering about the same thing because the double wide.
Stop it.
I'm just like, it seems.
How absolutely dare you?
It seems like a big pain in the fucking ass for the person using it even.
And there's a few of you out there that shouldn't be bringing their dogs around. Just crowded places.
You mean
and they're very little or they're very big.
800-pound pit bull that was like flexing on the other dog, and they're like, "Oh look, you want to make a friend?" And I'm like, "Let's get away before we're traumatized."
Everything was fine.
I was kind of thinking like, let's hold back a little bit, see what happens.
No, I didn't want to see a dog.
I don't
fight.
want to see that. But no,
shit.
like honestly, this fucking dog just squared up.
It really did.
Puffed its chest out. But honestly, it looked like a little lover.
Gorgeous dog.
Just what a little baby.
Yeah.
Ginormous fucking legs.
I love all dogs, but this one looks scurry.
Yeah.
This dog would have torn that other dog to pieces if they'd let it.
Sometimes you look at dogs and you're like, ooh, no, not for me.
Well, you read a dog's body language. It's like, that old bit that Jay Moore did about Christopher Walken and he wanted to have a tail to wag so that people would know what his mood he was in.
Oh.
When dogs are as wide as they are tall, that's a scary dog.
Yeah. It was cartoon big.
Beefy. It's a beefy brute.
It was solid muscle. Yeah. You could count every vein in his chest.
And a big old head, too.
Yeah.
It's like, seriously, it had like a human-sized head.
Yeah. I would love to hug that dog. Yeah. However, I don't know.
I understand. I have that same instinct. And that's why I was attacked by a police dog.
I love dogs. But I don't think everybody's dog belongs at every food festival in every crowd.
Don't get me wrong, both of those dog owners I felt were irresponsible.
Both of them.
Yeah.
It turned out okay, but that didn't mean it couldn't have. The recipe was there.
I had questions about the
ingredients.
Ethics of the guy with all the puppies crammed into the grocery cart too.
I don't understand.
I think he was trying to sell them, honestly.
He was selling
puppies. You think that's what it was? He was just selling them there? That was weird.
Yeah.
But they were real cute. They were little French bulldogs all crammed in this little
look too young to be
the little kind of shopping cart.
But I don't know anything.
Yeah, pedestrian cart use.
I mean, what happens if I think he was selling them, but I was also thinking about the logistics of somebody buying a dog there.
Yeah. Like what if it was part of taste?
You just carry the dog home and you got a free roaming dog.
You're like, you can get a 20% discount on a puppy.
Yeah.
If you get your coupon after you had your Gold Star burger.
Yeah, they won
and then
best
you get
show.
They
were the only dogs that were shown at Taste of Cincinnati, so they had to win.
Yeah. So that's Old People Corner. What are the youngs doing right now? Billie Eilish has an album out. Have we listened to it yet?
Not yet.
Okay, great. I haven't either.
No, I can't get to any of that stuff.
I'm tired.
You and I picked up Resident Alien. We're late to the party, but that's a great show.
That's a good show.
I was at the
Alan Tudyk.
And yes, I watched that years ago when it came out.
You liked it?
It was cute. That's I mean, that's the best word to describe that show. It's
I need cute and gentle right now.
Yeah, it's real sweet.
Yeah. It's everything.
Even though it's an alien trying to kill a little boy for the most part.
That is hilarious.
But it's really kind of turns into something really cute. It reminds me of like Calvin and Hobbes, the vibe of Calvin and Hobbes.
Mm-hmm.
Is it only on one season? Or it was released so long ago that I don't know if they.
I think there were 2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. We just decided to start watching it.
Yep.
Very pleasant.
Sitting in the queue forever.
We were doing a little tubing with Tubi over the long weekend to memorialize those who have fallen.
And what we bounce from, this is just, Amy, we just give it up to God, kind of like the old
A little bit.
Yeah.
Where do we start? Was it with the evil?
This round was with the evil.
The evil. Freddy insists we've done this on this show before.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing this show for 17 years. It's very possible, but I don't remember ever seeing this movie before. It's from the late 70s, early 80s, maybe 80.
I think it's, early 80s.
Dusty old estate. These people buy it because they're going to turn it into a rehab facility.
The colonel from Rambo is the scientist leading this group.
It's just good.
What's his name again?
Dumb. Crenna.
Richard Crenna.
Richard Crenna.
Yeah. He's it's a lot like Prince of Darkness, but nowhere near that league. But
Nowhere. Not even a little.
But it's a bunch of students from a college going to stay and turn this into a rehab, right? Like they were, but also there's a lot of like fucking monologuing from Richard Crenna especially, and patronizing and mansplaining.
But
it's fucking off. Like
it was a fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I like to do with older movies when we're watching them: is start Wikipediaing the actors, because you can usually find a weird death. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Sorry, I'm a piece of shit. So, one interesting factoid: the woman that plays his wife, she was friends with Sharon Tate and had dinner with her at that house the day before, or hours before they were all murdered.
So she's one of the last people that ever saw her live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said Rumor Willis played her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
So there, tri-state connection.
Interesting. That is not a tri-state connection.
Somebody's tri-state.
Not ours.
No.
Not the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana.
Somebody's.
But not ours.
But I'll throw it out for anyone.
So also, there was another man, Andrew Prine, who was suspected of being a murderer.
Very interesting looking man too.
That was an actor on the movie?
Uh-huh. Oh. He was never prosecuted, never, anything like that. And then even the girl who was murdered, his girlfriend, her father didn't believe he did it. So I was like, okay, it's cool. We can enjoy his performance now. He's not a murderer.
We enjoy his performance. The pants they put this man in, well, first they're crazy nut hugging, But besides that,
it was the time.
The nut hugging you expect. It's the 70s or early 80s, whatever.
He had just giant balls.
He had 2 button flies that went up to his hips, like Matador pants or something.
Yeah,
his jeans.
like sailor, like
pockets,
like Navy pants almost, right?
Yeah.
Like sailor pants.
Oh, I know. I can picture those.
Yeah, very strange.
Are they functional buttons or decorative buttons?
They were functional. I could tell. You could tell just looking at them the way they were riveted in.
So were you worried about how does this man pee?
Well, I'm like, what the fuck?
You got to open the front flap. That is weird.
A single button fly is like extra challenge that you don't need in your life. I have one. Yeah, I like it. It looks okay. It looks good, but you don't really have to fucking undo every button. I don't know what these hip button flies look like a whole nother just an unnecessary bunch of stuff.
I think that's why they're not around anymore, maybe.
And they also make your package look like oblong and awkward.
So there was that's where the seal was on both sides. There was nothing in the front, like a zipper or
No, there was no seam in the front.
Okay.
It's just a flap.
It was fucking weird.
So you undo the both sides and
to flap them down, I guess. Yeah. It probably just flaps down.
I think it's a decent look, but
I worried your whole pants would just fall.
Functionally, it's a lot of work. I mean, what happens if you really got to go?
Yeah. If you have to take a shit.
It's a lot of buttons to undo. Like, oh God.
You got to get those pants off.
Oh my God. I have this one pair of pants that has like a button and a little tie. Like a little, cinchy tie, like belt thing. And there have been times where I accidentally maybe tied that into a knot, and I have to pee.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I'm trying to get it. It's
You
happened.
ever think about grabbing the scissors and just cutting it?
I have 100% thought about
It's
that.
like when I see all the ladies wearing their pretty jumpsuits or rompers.
Yeah, it's like, bitch, how do you pee in that?
I like the look of it, but it just seems very. It's a lot of work.
I'm never going to wear clothing that will ever make anybody wonder, how does she pee in that?
So
You will always know how.
so they gotta get butt ass naked if they want to go, right?
You would. You just tits out in the fucking public restroom.
And God forbid you go to like a festival where there's a porta.
I had to use a porta potty.
Can you imagine like all these furries that go to festivals and in and out of porta potties in their big furry costumes, and then they're like, "See you next weekend at FurryCon," and then they're like, "Well, but you were just in the porta potty with that thing on, and now you're at this other convention."
They're probably diaper people though,
Oh, a lot of them are.
so like they don't have to get out of
Oh
the.
gosh.
Well,
costume.
Never.
I shouldn't say a lot of them are. My understanding of the furry community is limited to like what I've read on subreddit, hobby drama.
I enjoy the alone time I am afforded for the 1 to 1.5 minutes I am peeing alone in a stall.
Yeah.
I don't want to just piss on my just keep going.
I thought you were
I
going
need
to
a
say
minute. You're allowed.
that you really appreciate the alone time when you're in your giant bear costume and the big head
in the stall when I'm peeing.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's your meditative moments.
it's all I get.
Just pissing in a stall.
Or, in my own home.
Yeah.
It's the only time I allow myself
It's private. It's your time.
that I'm not looking at my phone the whole time.
You're not.
Not when I'm peeing.
No. We all look at our phones when we dump out.
I mean, come on.
Guys who look at their phone when they're pissing, I'm always like, why are you risking it?
Yeah, you're not going to be there that long.
You're hovering over the toilet with your device.
Do people do that?
Some do.
Do men do that standing there?
I've known guys that do it. They go in the bathroom and stand next to me and they're texting and pissing.
How do they know where they're aiming? And how do they control the stream?
I don't talk to those types. I wouldn't know.
Like, you weren't curious to like peek over?
Nah. They give off cocaine energy.
so
Anyone that does that's on cocaine.
So they're the ones that get the stall all wet.
Yeah.
Probably the ones who make the big messes. I'm sure of it.
I mean, because you need one hand to aim.
They're the ones who don't wash their hands, too.
direct the stream.
To be fair.
And their phones are probably just covered in germs.
Well, I mean, everybody's phone's covered in germs.
But
Theirs
pee-pee
maybe a
and
little
poo-poo
worse
germs.
because they have it out in the bathroom all the time. But everyone really, let's be real. You're taking a dump. You're really everyone has their phone out in the bathroom.
Do you think, how do you get around that as a person, maybe with like tendencies to be like concerned about cleanliness, like to a hyper degree? And do you get like a little pouch for your bathroom so you can use your phone without getting any particulates on it?
You didn't get all these questions answered during the pandemic?
No.
You get a metal key that you push your phone around on a desk with.
That's true.
So you don't ever have to touch it again.
Yeah, you get that key to open doors with.
Yeah, and you use the key to open doors. You cook with the key. You take your kids into bed at night with 2 keys.
I don't know. This is so funny.
Hold their sheets, their Star Wars sheets.
But that key is filthy, though.
Yeah, that key is messed up.
Wow. That's great.
Ground zero.
Yeah, you don't want to actually.
So eventually, we're just going to replace our limbs with keys.
Basically, we're a key-based society now. Thanks to the genius that invented that thing for the pandemic, for everyone to think they needed.
Oh my god! I do remember like the little like metal thing that would
It was a
open
multi-tool.
doors
It was for everything.
to push things and hold things. And yeah. Oh
Could
god, we were so.
What a bunch of fucking simp idiots we are.
What we went through. Well, some people thought they needed it.
I mean, we don't
It
know.
made them feel better to have
that
it.
toll could have been 2 million as opposed to 1 if we didn't have those key things.
Thanks, Andy. That's a way of putting a silver lining around it for the person who invented that key thing.
So you don't know how many lives a key thing saved.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet that they cost more
Nothing but a
lives
key thing, baby.
being chucked off of overpasses by kids, unattended children.
Oh, Freddy.
Those things are heavy. They're
Yeah.
big metal things.
Anything else we need to talk about at the top of the show?
No, in fact, we could have covered a lot of that in the top of the show 17 years ago.
What?
I was laughing.
Oh.
How we don't bother being timely because we're what you call evergreen content.
That's us, baby.
Yeah,
I'm sure we were complaining about our prices 17 years ago too.
probably. So.
Everything is expensive.
We just turned 18, right? In April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're legal.
Oh, Lord.
So that you can turn off that clock counting down
Yeah.
that we're legal now.
Some of you might be listening and going, but I can't get that much on your feed. Well, that's because we took down a lot of it for various reasons. But I mean, not because it's bad or anything, but mostly because it had music, copyrighted music in it.
Copyrighted material.
But we are slowly but surely publishing those over on our Patreon, patreon.com/NOTLP. And about every other week right now, I'm getting new in Origins, which is where I record a new intro to an old show. Anyway, that's exciting.
And we just had another Topic Can episode.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I asked everybody to have themselves commission an artist for a portrait, any kind of artist in any kind of medium, and you guys gave great answers, very creative.
We're amazing.
You should listen if you have the means. If you have the means, it's a choice.
Topicana comes out on the main feed that you're listening to every other week. If you're a patron, you'll get it right away. I don't know that I said that right. Just know that you get it a week later on the main feed. But if you're a patron, you get it right away. It's already there. But you've got to wait.
Makes sense.
Okay, I can do this.
You made sense. They get early access to
Yes.
Topicana.
Early access.
Yeah.
That's the motherfucking... Okay, thank you. All right. Andy, anything?
Yeah. Like we covered everything.
You got it?
Bye.
I will see you on the flip after Amy plays this thing. She's staring at buttons.
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction.
Wow.
Really?
Bells.
Bells, a.k.a. Murder by Phone, the proper title, the only title I will come to when it calls.
This was 80,
1, right?
81,
81,
82.
Or
Okay.
82. It doesn't matter. It's early 80s.
Murder by Phone.
Murder by phone.
Starring Richard Chamberlain, which I didn't know anything about, and now I know things about.
For instance.
Still roaming the earth, still alive. We still got him. No
Kicking it.
worries.
Yeah.
He likes The Gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
He had a longtime partner, but they're not together anymore. And I don't know, is he out there in like his like sexy 70s, or I don't know how old he is right now, but like, is he just like tearing it through fucking Hollywood right now?
Might be rolling around on a scooter.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the beard, the beard, man. Right, Andy? Do you know what I mean? It was a lot.
It was
It wore him a
appropriate
little.
amount of beard.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's because he is straight. He has straight hair in his beard, and it's like combed into a shape that you're not accustomed to.
So it looked like an action figure.
Yeah, it's like an uncommon grooming of a beard. You don't really see a lot of straight-haired beards.
He was reminding me of Ron Silver.
Yeah.
And this kind of what did I call him? An academic soft boy. Like, you know, like a professor or a student and I wear like collared shirts and like sweaters over them or sweater vests. Yeah. And I, have feelings and I love my girlfriend and blah, 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 blah. I don't know.
Academic soft boy.
No,
Academic soft boy. It's an archetype.
To me, he came across as very haughty and
Ron Burgundy-esque.
Yeah, very supercilious.
Supercilious.
Just a very like
what in the
take charge
world?
kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he's kind of like those guys that take a. I know one way to shut a dame up. That's yapping.
Yeah, slapper.
Yeah. Or slip, like kiss her or something.
He kissed her, but he'll probably slap her too.
But the old school like macho guys. That's what he came across to me as.
Yeah, well, he was
too much macho.
Wasn't he Alan Quartermain too? With the movies, the Alan Quartermain, The Lost City of Gold. It's him and Sharon Stone. They're Indiana Jones ripoffs.
Okay.
I think it was him. I think.
Okay. He was the Thornbird.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the Thornbirds. That
like
miniseries.
he was that hot priest, right? Was it a priest?
It was a priest.
Or
yes,
I know it was like big in the 80s.
It was a priest. Yes.
Got all the 80s moms.
I read it. Did I read it or did I never finish? I think I started it.
I wasn't young. I was too young for like the original.
Yeah, me too.
But like they did a sequel in like the late 80s, early 90s. I remember that was like
all the moms were into it.
The Thornbirds tune lands in.
Huh?
That's the birds too.
Oh.
Doing a Hitchcock thing.
Yeah.
Murder by Phone was billed as a sci-fi slasher, which I thought was an interesting descriptor. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
But it's correct, I guess, because what's happening in this is not real science.
So who's the slasher? The phone?
Well,
no, there's a
or the person on the other end of the line.
There is a perpetrator
Noah
in this.
Spoiler alert,
Yeah.
it's Noah.
Yeah. He's mad at the world.
Okay. So we've talked about Richard Chamberlain, and he's this professor dude, and one of his favorite students, he finds out has died of a heart attack. She's 19 years old in New York City. Was it New York City? It was New York City. Or so. Something like that. It doesn't really matter,
yeah. It could be anywhere USA as far as you're concerned.
You see, basically this is him just inserting himself into the investigation and insisting there needs to be an investigation and just,
It's that sort of thing that we did a lot in the 80s.
You don't belong in here. What are you doing?
Yeah, the unconventional cop, story. Like, we made these movies over and over again where they get in the crime scene, nobody really fucking challenges them. They do more work than the cops do.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Halloween 3, actually.
Yeah, same kind of thing.
Like he could have easily been. This could have easily been Tom Atkins.
Yeah. It would have been better, I think, with Tom Atkins.
Yeah. And they show her death scene in the beginning. She just the phone. This is how you die. You vibrate to death.
That was kind of unsettling.
You bleed from the eyes.
You bleed from the eyes and ears and mouth.
And then you get thrown.
And then you get exploded away.
Yeah.
This was the best part of the whole movie. Like all the murders by phone.
Yeah, I agree.
I realized that one of my favorite things in movies is people being blown away. Like people and just being thrown back. I love when people are yeeted. And I love that word too, yeeted.
And the best part though is the build up, especially the first one. She is so good. She just does the shake until it builds to the being thrown. So it's even better than the usual just like shotgun blowing somebody off their feet thing. Like she's like,
but just watching this reminded me of all the other great scenes of people being yeeted. I love for movies. Like there was a really good one from Prom Night 2.
Yeah,
where the mom gets yeeted and gets blown back.
My favorite is
I want a compilation of people being yeeted.
Does yeet only mean being pushed out, or can
just just thrown?
I was about to say, would you consider Nancy's mom at the end of the original Nightmare a yeeting through the window? She was yeeted through the window.
I guess, yeah.
By Freddy Krueger. A negative yeeting.
But at first you don't know if it's like some supernatural thing or.
You have no idea.
Yeah, or some.
Unless you looked at the description on IMDb, which I was sort of bummed out.
But I didn't read that. But I didn't know what was causing.
It was kind of fun to think it might be supernatural, but I had that destroyed for me early on because I went to check.
And then we did that for you, the listener. But you should know better by now.
You're right.
We spoil everything.
You should have known better.
Yep.
Karma's a bitch. So anyway, yeeting. She's dead. I don't know. Oh, wait. Is this her dad? Somebody says this, and I wrote it down. If man is going to control his destiny, he has to control his machinery. I just thought it was a weird quote.
There were a lot of them in here. It felt like this was written as a manifesto by some dude, and then, and that's fine. A lot of movies really are like that. But then they go through a writer's room that refine it all down to stuff normal people understand.
I was near the end, like this movie did have a point.
What was it?
No, not a point, but it had like something that was like made you think about like
phones.
Yes, and not just phones, but how important certain things are to society, and like if you take this one thing away, that society would just break down. Because near the end, the guy was saying like, we can't let this get out, because what would happen if people would panic,
stop using
phones, and how many people would die because people are having emergencies or heart attacks.
Yeah, they can't answer.
But it made me think like, well, that it would be a big thing if one this one thing from technology went away.
It would be great if that's what this movie was doing, instead of it being like just one character making that commentary. Like the rest, it is fun. It's kind of like Mimic in that way, where it takes a social thing, but then it's just like, other than that simple kind of idea that we rely on the phone system for so many things, like it just being some disgruntled guy who is zapping people through the phone lines. I thought it was a little disappointing.
I thought it was going to be a bigger conspiracy
disgruntled
thing beyond a disgruntled employee.
Well, I think it is a bigger conspiracy thing, because what you kind of find out is that the phone company
they're developing something.
Developing a way of shooting electricity out of your phone to kill you. Or somebody as a weapon. So, and then this man who becomes a disgruntled dude and then co-ops this technology to kill people that he wants to kill. Like, there is some cover-up happening.
That's what John Houseman was writing.
And the fact that that
he was a double crosser.
The phone company had all the secret operations in the sub-basement.
Sub-basement is the phone company, man. These people don't know how any of this works. I don't know how any of this works, and I can tell you don't know how any of this works. Now, that could be Dunning-Kruger, and I don't know. I'm too stupid to know that I'm stupid. But it was a very confusing idea that you could send enough electricity through the phone to yeet a human.
And fry them from the inside.
And burn up the phone.
Did Mythbusters do...
lightning
through the phone?
Yeah.
And wasn't that true?
To an extent, yeah. I can't remember exactly.
I don't think you would need it, though.
Right? I mean,
you can be thrown from an electrical.
Would it work with cell phones, or do you need like something to ground it to?
Well, see, they couldn't have even conceived of that yet.
No, I'm just asking for now. Like,
I mean, our brains are being cooked by the 5G anyway. Like, once the vaccine and the 5G, they were both activated.
You need a conduit for electricity.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, do you? I mean, what do we really even know anymore? I'm just asking the questions, man.
Just asking questions. What's wrong with asking questions? Do your research. But not that research. This research. Okay, back to this dumbass movie that I loved. I honestly did enjoy this because Richard Chamberlain was just kind of a dick, and he was fun.
I was like, I want to live my life with the confidence that Richard Chamberlain's character
just barges into anything.
He just does anything he wants. He goes into police stations, demands investigation, and he gets it, and they do it.
Yeah.
Like, he goes to the cop who's being an ass, a little bitchy to him, and like they give him her personal effects. You don't know this guy? You just know that he has the letter you sent the dad and he signed it. Maybe. Whose signature is that? How are you verifying this? Sorry, I don't know.
I think back then too,
it's a very dumb thing to get hung up on, but it made me laugh.
We had a lot less in the realm of like ID verification and trust, like barriers. It was enough to be like, who else would show up for this thing?
True.
Well, of course he has a letter signed. Like, I used to buy cigarettes for my parents when I was like 8.
I did too.
Well, that was easy because they had dispensing. They had machines where you can.
I would buy them from an adult.
I could go with
a letter. They sold you
with a letter.
Cigarettes.
They would with a letter.
Yeah. So you start to get a little of the killer POV, and then you get him visiting the DMV. Where was he at? Some bureaucrat.
Some tax place.
Taxes.
Oh my God.
His POV.
And I love how petty he is. He's just going killing around anybody that inconveniences him in any way.
Because all we're shown is this poor woman. She's like, I can't, or like, I don't even remember, but it basically boils down to, I can't help you move it along. And now he's gonna kill her.
Yeah.
In front of her kids.
It's a good thing that one guy that worked at Burger King didn't have this technology that day we were in there, and the guy said they were feeding humans and not animals. Because that guy would have been zapped.
Yep.
And yeeted.
People are just getting zapped. Nah. You find out John Houseman
looked at you right in that fucking moment when he's at the BMV or whatever, and I'm like, if it turns out that this guy is just zapping people through the phone because they slight him, I was just like, I guess that's a movie.
I mean, that's what eventually happened.
I was also living vicariously through him too, because
you wish you had the power.
Yes, I mean, I wish I could. Anybody that cuts me off or drives a little too slow, or,
want to zap
or
him,
just
make
little
him
things.
shaky.
It's good I don't have that.
But like, can you imagine the power?
You two have dark.
Didn't they do it?
energies.
Didn't he kill somebody with the Mickey Mouse phone?
Yeah.
It was the lady at the bank.
It was the bank lady,
Yeah,
or
bank
the
lady.
bureaucracy, or the bank, or whatever she was. Yeah, he
Yeah.
killed her through her Mickey Mouse phone.
Extra tragic.
How did he? Okay, I get how he found out. The lady at the tax office, because she had like a name thing on her desk, and you can look up people's names.
He works at he's a
works
tour
at a phone
guide at the
company.
phone company.
But how did he find out the bank teller's information and number? Because all she did was saying like, "Sorry, we're closed. Bye."
I don't know.
Oh yeah, the bank teller.
Maybe he goes there often.
Yeah, probably.
He's like, this one time she was a bitch to me.
But I love her response. Like he goes to the bank and is closed, and they're having a party for like their boss or something. And he knocks on the window, and she comes over. Sorry, bank's closed. Just come back tomorrow. There's plenty of money.
She said there's plenty of money. I forgot about that.
I love
Don't
that
worry,
little
fella.
line.
There's plenty of money.
It'll still be there. Weird thing to say.
And no free sample. Sorry.
And also, she was like having sex with the boss or something too, right? Weren't they insinuating that later? And the guy was like elderly.
Yeah.
And she was like 20 something.
I think the insinuation was she was doing it to advance her career.
Oh, I guess so.
There's the bag lady that witnessed the young lady from the beginning die in the subway station. Was she buying lipstick
Out of the vending
from a vending machine in the subway station? Is that a thing you can? She did, Annie, because she leans down to get whatever it was.
After he gave her money, like some change, right? And that's what she used to buy lipstick.
She put lipstick
I can
on.
tell you definitely it was lipstick, and that it was the screenwriter's fucking weird rant. It's part of his fucking thing, saying the one thing she valued was her femininity or whatever.
Oh, do you hate ladies?
Yeah, I think whoever wrote this hates women.
Well,
just a guess.
So then,
just a guess,
dude. When Richard Chamberlain is like, "I would like to speak to your supervisor," it was Richard Chamberlain, right?
Yeah,
and not the killer. God, I thought I might have mixed that up for a second.
Yeah,
Just
he did a speak to the manager.
The full Karen, the full. I would like to speak to your manager.
But the thing is, we had to watch him through all the bureaucratic steps of dealing with a phone company. They made a movie out of something people in real life had to do and hated doing. And like, I think that's a problem.
I love it.
But we didn't have to. We didn't approach it with his confidence and his like attitude. Cause
attitude.
He got things done.
I wrote here he's the most difficult man to have a conversation with.
Oh, he's awful.
For everybody he encounters.
He'll make you reevaluate the way you talk to other people if you watch this movie.
But the movie portrays him as knowledgeable.
He's the fucking hero, bro.
He's such a prick.
And that he can get anything he wants because he walks into the building and some lady's doing like a mural on the wall. And he says, your art sucks. It doesn't make sense.
Basically,
he's evaluating it as if it's a legit circuit board and telling her it won't work.
But I'm just saying, like, it's just, it takes some
very
balls
assured.
to go up to somebody and said, hey,
not
your
just
art
that,
is wrong.
When she tells him basically, well, it's not supposed to work. It's just visual. It's just for display.
No, I get that. But the thing is, his flirting works.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they smash.
He bags the lady after insulting her artwork and saying, basically, you suck.
Yeah.
I think she was like, oh, I can change him. I can soften the parts that I don't like.
It's that old-fashioned way of like thinking of the machismo and like ladies want somebody that...
It's an entitlement.
He nagged her. Yeah. He nagged her.
He has a his character is entirely entitled to fucking anything and anywhere he wants to be. And
I think they're also portraying him as, and I know this term might not be right anymore, but as an idiot savant almost, where he's socially...
Like he's a little bit of a Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for, but it just came off as rude.
Yeah. He and he's like a conspiracy nut. It's like he's so into this being like very big. Now it does turn out to be sort of big, I guess. I don't know. Is that a big deal that the government might be funding illegal, like weird weapons research, and they might involve the phone company shooting lasers out of it to eat you? I don't know.
You feel like that's normal now? Nowadays we don't bat an eye at that.
I know.
Sort of
You're
thing.
like, whatever, of course.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is probably on it.
Fuck her.
I just loved hating on Richard Chamberlain's character.
Yeah.
In a way, he was kind of charming.
I mean, at the end of the day,
yeah, kind of.
That's how he gets what he gets.
He's kind of the good guy, I guess. I don't know. I feel like he was serving his ego.
Would you go take a tour of the phone company?
No.
But this was the 80s.
Not this stage of my life.
This was the early 80s. Like, what else is there to do?
You could be touring the Walkman company instead. Sony Walkmans.
Were they around yet? No.
Yeah, they were just starting out. Yeah, you get a little radio.
I mean, it seems like a very touristy thing to do. You're in New York City. You see this big corporation. They're offering tours. Why not?
I mean, you can take tours.
Gremlins too.
Yeah, the tour.
You can take tours of like public works, right? Like if you wanted to. I know you can take one of the Hamilton County
banks.
Coroner office.
I mean, looking back on it, it was a neat tour that they went on. They saw the inner workings of the film company and all the wires that they said, there are so many wires here, it can wrap around the earth 20 times.
I wonder what happened to all those wires. Landfills.
Sculptures.
Yeah.
In the desert.
So this is when I figured out that this is the same director as Logan's Run, Around the World in 80 Days, and a movie called Hell is Sold Out. Why did I put that on here? Because there was a reason why.
Title.
Hell is Sold Out.
Yeah.
I think just because of the title. I think there was another reason.
Around the World in 80 Days is an awesome movie.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And they can't all be winners. You know what I mean?
This is not in those leagues.
It is a completely different kind of movie.
Yeah.
It looked like a TV movie, honestly.
That's what I was thinking.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the second one you said. Not
Logan's Run.
Logan's Run. I've seen it several times, and I can't remember if I liked it or not. But it was also strange. Like this movie had that same kind of strangeness to it.
This is not how people talk to each other.
Yeah, but it made more sense than that because it wasn't set in real life. It was set in like a different world, like a post-apocalyptic Earth.
Like, it's like very future of the past. So like you don't really know how people act like that yet because they're futurists.
Yeah. So it made sense for Logan's Run because you're guessing at how they would talk. But in this movie, we know how people talk to each other in this setting. Because you can watch it with your own eyes in real life. Hear it with your own ears.
How do we know that people didn't talk like this in the I was 3.
It could have been regional too. It might have just been if you didn't live specifically in their neighborhood where they monologued in that neighborhood, everyone to a person.
I wrote down here telephone morgue. Does anybody remember what I mean by that?
Yeah. It was all the melted phones we set up.
Oh, from the...
I said it looked like a morgue. They shot it like as a morgue scene or something.
Yeah.
But it was just the busted phones from yeeting.
The yeet phones.
The phones that had been yeeted.
Sometimes I look at my notes and I'm like, what?
Can you read them?
I'm taking you up on your offer. And smooch. Weird.
It's because they ended like they were setting up for a sequel. Like he was going to be back or something.
But
was this at the end?
No.
Are you talking about the end?
No, this is before the end.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can't help me, can you?
Is this where he went on the date with the lady?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I'm gonna take a cab home or something, and they take separate cabs.
Yeah.
Because I think she was wanting him to take her home that night and rail her, but he didn't get her signals, and then they fucked later.
Oh.
And then that's when she says,
They did the railing later.
That she's taking him up. She's taking him in. On his offer.
I think that's what you might have meant.
Hey, man. I just wrote it was weird. It was all weird. Then we find out that John Houseman, our just like adorable little friend of Dick Face, Richard Chamberlain.
They have no chemistry together either.
He's a double crosser.
I was confused about this because he's involved in the phone thing, but he also is helping out Richard Chamberlain more than he should, knowing that Richard Chamberlain's onto him.
Maybe it was his conscience.
Yeah,
Maybe he had a little Jiminy Cricket following him around going, hey. But yeah, he was totally cashing the checks to be on the board of that phone company and knew all about it. Bad dude, but it's okay. He got phone murdered.
He would often, like all the characters, but especially John Houseman's character did this the most, would monologue exposition and everything, like about himself. It was so strange.
Well,
it was just a strange set of dialogue for everybody.
They needed to pad out this movie because it's nothing really happened beyond the phone murders and Richard Chamberlain being a dick.
Yeah, well, everybody sounds like a narcissist in the movie too. Like all the characters have kind of a narcissistic lean.
There was lots of boning down. You gotta get through that. I think somebody said lightning, goddamn lightning, but I don't remember why. Why did I write that down, Andy? I got to do better with my context.
It's probably where they got lightning through their head and got yeeted. Yeah. So they're probably like, fuck, lightning, lightning. Yeah, they got yeeted. That's why.
This movie assumes no one has speakerphone.
Did they have speakerphone back then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, really?
I looked it up because I was like, I'm not about to criticize the movie for something that is not scientifically possible, even though what they are doing in the movie.
I didn't know it was such an early technology.
If you watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, you would know that.
Oh.
And the
I'd rather be yeeted by a phone than watch that show. I'm sorry, I've heard it's really good, but it just doesn't.
It's okay. You want to be yeeted instead. I get it. Some people want to be yeeted. Some men just want to see the world yeet.
They had it was a Maisel. It was that like the 50s,
60s, yeah, 50s, 60s.
So they had speakerphone back then.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. So he's looking for. Who does he look for in the phone book? I can't remember who.
Sarah Connor.
And he's like looking for the phone numbers, and like the camera's right in on just the page. It's like scrolling with him, but like the number he wants is 555, but none of the other numbers on that page were 555.
I didn't notice that.
I did. And
that's wild.
Part of me wanted to go,
call some numbers.
Call some numbers, but I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it'd be way less interesting than you could ever imagine.
I know. No, I get it. Yeah.
Like, did you know that if you pause, do you have Tubi? First, get Tubi, okay? Download Tubi.
Well, it's on YouTube.
You get YouTube? Everyone does. Good.
It's like your number was in a movie called Murder by Phone, a.k.a. Bells.
Bells.
Did you know you're famous?
That freaking phone. That phone she had, Painter Lady, that penis phone.
Yeah, it looked like a dick.
It was like a white dildo.
I kept waiting for someone to get yeeted through that phone so they'd be shaking it like, and then they fly through the air.
It's like I like the build up with that phone because they like focused on it and there was almost like a spotlight on it.
Yeah,
it is very phallic
because like it was almost like a character on its own.
It was miscast.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
But it's the way they built it, the tension. Like, is she gonna pick up the phone?
I know this is weirdly shaped like a phone.
So fucking long, overlong scene.
It was so weird the phone is so distractingly weird that when he's on the phone, like yelling at the killer,
all you can think about is how dumb the
trying to
phone
be
looks.
intense and like, yeah, and I'm like, you're fucking that thing in your hand. It looks so stupid.
The only thing stupider would have been like Juno's hamburger phone.
Yes.
If that's the only other way that could have been dumber.
Or the football phone
Or
from
that-
Sports Illustrated.
I mean, they already used the Mickey phone once in this movie, so they could have gone football phone.
Yeah.
But I think the most demeaning would definitely be
The dildo phone.
The dildo phone.
that or Garfield, where his eyes move.
Garfield and
It's like, and on the dildo phone, the dial thing's on the bottom.
Yeah, rotary on the bottom.
very weird. And there was a very long scene where you get to see the keypad and the killer dialing. And is it Richard Chamberlain? Somebody dialing on the rotary pad underneath the phone. And it's just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
It's supposed to be tense.
It's obnoxious.
Awful.
But again, I just love how inept this movie is. I don't know. I delighted in it.
I kind of did too, in a way. It's very much like, kind of like when you watch The Room, only for slightly different reasons.
Right.
Like, clearly, it doesn't have like a light football tossing scene in it or anything like that.
It's hard to build tension for a means of murder that is so specific.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is not pick up the phone.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're safe.
Yeah.
You know, but they've somehow they try to ramp up the tension of them. A lot of red herrings. Like, who are they? Can pick up the phone? Are they not?
I just thought about like
Is-
how fucking silly this is. Like the thought that some of them catch it in time and they toss the receiver away and it explodes. That's the best. That part of it is hilarious to me.
And you see the guy on the other end. Like, there's literally a dial that he pushes up that charges the phone and sends electricity.
He he has a sliding, so he could be like, just maim him.
And they figure out through very Star Trek technobabble nonsense
Oh, it's so bad.
a way to then, if he's going to zap us, we're going to take that energy and slap it back at him.
Yeah,
They're going to rubber your glue it.
that's what they did.
And that's what they did. And then there were black burnt out eyes. That was pretty cool.
He burned more than others. See, that's what I told you, Amy. I said this movie, by its own lack of logic, has a logic in that the final villain will have a bigger eating than everyone who came before him for no reason.
He twas yeeted.
He was yeeted bigly.
And that is sort of that.
Bales.
What a weird movie.
The end was weird because, like you said, it implies a sequel almost.
Yeah.
The freeze frame.
The Richard Chamberlain heals up the phone and said, there's like a one-liner at the end.
Yeah.
And he smiles like with this big shit-eating grin.
Dude, it looks
Is
like
it
a
the dildo
cigarette ad.
phone?
This is this puke green phone or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he says something to the lady he insulted and fucked later.
Well, it's something like, I'll
then-
get to you later.
Yeah. And then it zooms in on the phone and there's this like scary music that's being like piped into your ears. And it's the way that they ended it. It's like, oh my God, is there going to be a murder by phone too?
It's going to zap out of there and get like a bystander, man. I don't know.
It's felt like one of the worst X-Files episodes.
Yeah. But again, because it felt like that, I love it.
Yeah, it's familiar.
It's ungood.
Familiar trash.
It is not good. But I enjoyed it. I think it makes for a good hangout with friends and laugh at.
It was a real fun way to wrap up the theme.
Yeah. This
I
is
mean,
a
it
good
could
one.
have been more different. Every movie we did was so different than the one before it.
I would watch this movie 8 billion times before I'd watch Mr. Harrigan's Phone again.
Yeah.
Or they're totally different movies, I feel. Like, I enjoyed Mr. Harrigan's Phone in a way.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It
like
had
a
its
bad
moments.
movie, but it wasn't
Yeah.
great either.
In a
but-
way that's deep down inside of you.
I mean,
it doesn't actually might not exist.
I always like to watch Donald Sutherland anytime he's in anything. Plus that kid from who played Bill Denborough.
That kid.
He's real great.
Yeah.
Real great. My grammar gets worse as I age.
Hey, good.
He good. He
So
did
that
good.
is Buffon Who
Yeah.
Dis.
So thank you, Dustin, for the pick.
Thank you, Dustin, for this
Yeah.
pick. I enjoyed the shit out of myself. That means we need to pick a new theme.
Yeah.
And that means we got to put our hands in the hat. And we're good. You want me to pick?
Always you.
Oh, Lord. Okay, ladies and gentlemen listening, I have my hand.
Andy and I maintain the hat. You choose.
They put options in there, and then I choose.
Watch out for the syringes in there.
Nah. What is it?
Nun movies. Andy, get your nun. We're doing Andy, get your nun.
What did we do? Andy, get your pun. That's what it was.
It's a sequel too.
It's a
Andy,
sequel.
get your nun.
Andy, get your nun. Okay, what are we starting with?
I like to avoid the nun at all costs.
that obviously, but because those are bad. But I think if Immaculate is streaming somewhere, I think we should start with that.
That looks good.
I heard good things about that.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I think it is, yeah. All right, we'll start with Immaculate then.
All right, easy peasy.
That is a newer movie, so we are going to spoil it. I don't know words.
It's got the new It girl, Sydney Sweeney, in it.
Yes.
I will also I will suggest maybe The Devils might be a good one. It's kind of racy though.
Okay, we'll put it on.
Yeah,
the
like
list.
I feel like this month is gonna be very racy.
Nuns are racy.
Yeah.
What kind of nuns? Oh my God.
There was nunsploitation was like a whole thing.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Nuns with guns, blah, blah, blah. All right.
There was that one movie with the nun, that nun is smoking. It's a very famous, like,
That's
she's
what, Miss
like,
45?
I don't know.
She's not really a nun, I don't think. What's she looking for, Amy?
My list.
Yeah.
You didn't need to bring attention to it. I could have just done that on my own over
I
there.
thought I could help, but I can't help.
Yeah.
But what I can do is return to the conversation I was having with Andy.
Anyway, I normally at the end of every show, we say hi to our Beelzebubs, patreon.com/NOTLP. If you want to know what that's all about, there's extra content over there, merch, blah, blah, blah. Normally, I would say hi to you people, and I have a nice list of your names because I don't have it memorized, and you think I would, but I don't, and I can't find it.
That's
and
okay.
Freddy couldn't be cool for like 5 seconds.
I'm
and
sorry.
keep going.
But just know that we are appreciative.
I love each and
of
every one of you
your,
very much.
Support.
And your name will be listed in the show credits.
Yes.
Regardless.
We'll just say it twice next week.
Yeah.
And I am so nice. We'll say it twice. All right. Anything else? Whoops.
That was a big old piano note.
Sorry. I forget that I have to pull the fucking shit. You know, life is hard.
It felt like a shoe fell on me, like a giant shoe.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. It was exhilarating.
Oy vey, Andy, you okay?
I'm good.
Right. I guess we're okay.
All right, Andy, get your nun.
Andy, get your nun coming up. This is fun.
All right, bye.
Put on Dawn of the Dead. An Igor made the nachos in a severed human head. And they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London on 4 legs. While high above him, Ellen Ripley finds some funny eggs. And Freddy laughs at Nancy in her nightmares as she begs to have just one more moment with her friends. In a world where evil isn't always just pretend, and it seems as though the darkness never ends. Give me lots of popcorn and some time that I can spend to watch some monster movies with my friends. To watch some monster movies with my friends.
She was didn't she host Saturday Night Live recently? Yeah, I didn't watch it.